turned off all of the chat because I'm not going to get distracted with this one. And it's going to be a short one, but I just want to get it out of the way. Do I believe that there are still body parts in that house in Omaha at 121st and Wright? Wright being Wright. No, I don't, and haven't for years. I realized that they had removed those remains. Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, the minute he started to debate me about those remains and telling me that how I should pay to have the whole place torn apart and then rebuilt, I knew they had gotten rid of him. I knew they had gotten rid of him. I think that the whole situation now has been given new life. Thomas Schoenberger and Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, are hoping that they can focus everybody on these body parts that were in these walls at my dad's house. And when they're not there, which they're not anymore, then they can say, see, David's a liar. David's a liar. I'm not focused on those body parts anymore. But thanks to them, this whole situation has given new life to this. And I can't thank them enough. Because now my focus is, if my stepmother, Joanne, is out there telling people that she believes that there's bad things in the walls and that I put them there, I think investigators need to go ask her what she thinks those bad things are. And what walls? And why does she believe that I put shit, bad things in the walls? I think she needs to be asked. Not go on a fucking Famalam chat room and actually talk with all of the other child traffickers about it. I think law officials who actually have authority should go ask her, what are the bad things she thinks I put in the walls? And where are these walls at? You know, that's what's given this situation new life. My stepmother's talking about it. And so I'm letting her talk about it. But I think she needs to be asked about it by someone who actually has authority, because she's not smart and she will lie. And she'll get caught in her lies. So do I believe that there's body parts still in those walls? No, not at all. Not at all. My dad put body parts in the walls. He told people he had skeletons in his closet, and he was meaning literally. But are they still there? No. They took him out when I was in Washington. That's why Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, started to bait me with it. However, if my stepmother is running around telling people that she thinks that I put bad things in the walls, then she needs to do what I've fucking done. I've gone to the cops over and over and over and over and over. I told Nebraska State Patrolman Cold Case John Pankedon, when I went to go have him take my DNA to compare it to the Ricky Chaddick case, I told him all about what my dad said. But you want to know what they did? What they always do. Fuck all. That's all. So with that said, I had a really interesting conversation, and I want to talk about the notes that I took in this conversation. First of all, some of you are wondering what this Cicada 3301 is, and it's CICADA 3301. This is a thing that was Michael Aquino's baby. It was a CIA recruitment operation that Thomas Schoenberger has been involved with for years. He was working under Michael Aquino with this Cicada 3301, but it's a CIA recruitment tool. And so that's what Thomas has been involved with. Now, Thomas found Isaac after Isaac posted a couple videos. And what was Isaac Cappy talking about? Oh, that's right. He was trying to expose the pedophile bullshit in Hollywood, which he knew all about. He was trying. So Thomas sought him out, just like Thomas sought out on me. It wasn't even 2 videos, 3 videos that I started talking about Isaac Cappy, and Thomas Schoenberger, Corey Daniels descended upon me, Geo Farnsworth descended upon me, Tara Joyce descended upon me, Daniel Dowd descended upon me all at once as a group to try and shut me up. Same thing that they obviously did to Isaac. You know, Thomas Schoenberger, I guess, introduced Isaac to Nathan Stoltman, and I know he did because he and Johnny Dub bragged about it. I believe Johnny Dub is Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. Thomas Schoenberger, this Johnny Dub idiot, and this Chris Mackenzie Jones, who's supposedly from Australia, fucking tag team harassed the shit out of me for the last year. Oh yeah, they've disappeared now in the last month or so, but it doesn't negate the shit that I just went through with them for a year. And I believe Johnny Dub is Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. They bragged to me that they introduced Isaac Cappy to Nathan Stoltman. But Thomas also introduced, that's how Isaac Cappy got on the Alex Jones show. Some guy named Jib Camera, Jibcamera, was connected with the Alex Jones show, and that's how Isaac Cappy got on Alex Jones's show. So then a few months after this, Isaac ended up telling Thomas to fuck off because he believed Thomas was a psycho and Thomas was trying to extort him. I did all of this for you, now you owe me. That's a common game with Thomas. Fuck, he thinks he bought my soul for $120, you know? So, and then the email that I got talking about all of this stuff, the person got a hold of me because they were concerned about the verbiage in the email that talks about my stepmother. The word Judas. They told me that Thomas calls everyone Judas. That's a word he uses. He also uses the word jackals, and that word was in there too. So I believe that they're right. The stuff that I got about my stepmother and being on Sewer Town, I believe that shit is true, but I believe that email came from Thomas Schoenberger, to be quite honest. But again, whether or not there's bodies in those walls or not, the fact that my stepmother is running around telling people, or the fact that people have heard that my stepmother is telling people that there are bad things in the walls and I put them there, that needs to be investigated. Obviously, they're in the know of something, you know? Okay. Thomas first called people Judas all the time. In 2017, he and Defango is not his real name. He's on Sewer Town. They got into an altercation where Thomas called Defango a Judas. But they like to play controlled opposition. Thomas Schoenberger and Gabe Hoffman are working together. They're not oppositional to each other. They're controlled opposition. They're working together and seem like they're opposing each other. It's all a fucking game to these idiots. So they believe that Thomas Schoenberger was ordered to murder Isaac Cappy by Michael Aquino. I've always believed that. I knew that Isaac Cappy, in the last conversation I had with him, told me that he had 4 of Michael Aquino's phone numbers and he was harassing the shit out of Michael Aquino over the phone. That's the reason why I stopped working with Isaac Cappy, because I didn't understand what he thought he was going to achieve with that, and I thought what he was doing was dangerous. I thought he was an idiot, and told him so. That's why Isaac and I stopped talking, and then a week later, he was in Australia. Alicia Ray. Alicia Ray is Corey Daniels' wife. She calls herself the Sicilian Witch. She's the last person who saw Isaac Cappy alive. And she's married to Corey Daniel. They weren't married before, but they got married soon after. Corey Daniel, who didn't know who Isaac Cappy was, who can tell you the very moment he drove under an overpass, but will tell you there was no police presence, there was no body, and he didn't know Isaac Cappy. But he knows the minute he drove under that overpass. And now he's telling people he needs to be regaled as a hero. Him and Daniel Dowd, because they were actually on the bridge, trying to keep Isaac Cappy from jumping. So a man you didn't know, you're trying to keep him from jumping on a bridge that you spent 4 years telling everybody that you were nowhere around, you drove under it. You know, the fact that you're telling people that you drove under that bridge was weird enough, you know? But Alicia Ray is the Sicilian Witch. Corey Daniels' wife. They're all fucking connected. All of them are connected. In 2019, Thomas found this person called Leppo, Leppo, whose real name is Dan Cromer. Thomas reached out to this Cromer dude because Cromer was an associate of this person named All Seeing Eye. is spelled EWE, all seen, and a YouTuber. And it was this YouTuber that Thomas paid to go after Nathan Stoltman. So Thomas pays this all-seeing Eve person to go after Nathan Stoltman, pays this person to go after. And they know that because later she did a video admitting this and apologized to Nathan. And so Liebel was just a small YouTuber, 500 or so subscribers. And he worked at a library and just did YouTube videos for fun. This is the video channel that Thomas Schoenberger interviewed Mike Lucchino on. It was this all-seeing Eve. That's how Thomas was able to interview Mike Lucchino, which Thomas Schoenberger brags about. But it was this all-seeing Eve. Then Thomas goes after this Lepo person, and he shuts down his channel because he can't take the shit that Thomas did to him. Because Thomas is relentless, and he's a fucking psycho. And I'm saying that from my own personal experience with the dickhead. So then this person pointed out, and it's very true, the money being made with all this child trafficking isn't about the kids having sex. Yes, that makes money. What makes the money is the blackmail situation. That's what makes the money. They set these rich motherfuckers up to have sex with kids, they film it, and then they blackmail these assholes. That's what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. That's what was going on in Franklin Credit. None of this shit is new. That's what they do. That's what P. Diddy was doing. You know? That's the shit that came out. He was doing the same thing. He fucking had multiple cameras in every room. You know? So, but Thomas has been in jail, from what I've heard, from stalking felonies. And then, allegedly, he ripped off $400,000 from someone named Isabel Gauthier. Gauthier. And if you go to the description and you click on that link, all the stuff that I'm reading right now, I typed onto my blog. All my notes I typed onto my blog already. I'll be putting this video on the link that's in the description, so I don't have to keep sending shit out over and over and over every day. I'm just going to put it all at once, do it at once, and then send it out. A guy named Leopard Meroz, Leopardmeroz, posted all the court documents. And so now, the little investigator that I'm not, now I'm going to have to go find this Meroz person because I want to see the fucking court documents. I want to see all of it. And I'll post all of it when I find it. But Thomas likes to redirect people with emails. And so that's why the person reached out to me, because they said, this stuff that you just got about your stepmother and Gabe Hoffman and all of that. And when I get an email talking about all this shit, but Thomas's name is nowhere mentioned, chances are it's from Thomas. And he plays a lot of games. That's all he does. He and Doug Mesner. And they were all working under Mike Lucchino. Whether or not you believe Mike Lucchino is dead or not is inconsequential. The people that were behind Mike Lucchino helping him with his bullshit are still very much alive. Gabe Hoffman, Thomas Schoenberger, Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves. Oh, and just so we're clear, that siren person that is new, that's talking to people, I would be willing to bet that that's Skills' new name. First she went from Emily Thorne, then she went to Skills, now obviously she's Siren. That's my guess. That's the guess that I would give. All connected to Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who's using their Satanic Temple after-school daycare to target the fucking kids. That's what's happening. And Sewertown, that goes after the victims. Corey Daniel, Alicia Ray, his little Sicilian witch wife. DeFango, Geo Farnsworth. Farnsworth isn't his last name. Daniel Dowd, Tara Joyce. All this little group. Jesse Davis. All this little group that goes after fucking survivors and tries to shut them up. You know? That's how all of this is working. That's how all of this is working. But you're absolutely right. keep focusing on the fucking dead guy that died in jail and the fucking lying bitch that's in prison for child trafficking. They've only been getting you to chase your tail for what, 10 years now? And how far have any of you gotten? They're doing the same thing with this Jeffrey Epstein bullshit that they did with the Franklin Credit Union. And it's all the same stupid shit. It's the same fucking game. And why? Because they know the same thing I know. Most of you aren't fucking concerned about child trafficking, couldn't give a shit less. If you're asked, you'll say that you care. But really, when it comes down to it, you just fucking want to be entertained. You just want to be entertained. Shit. Most of you get mad because I'm calling out Trump, who yesterday, after the victims of Epstein told about their abuse, Trump went online and said it was a Democratic hoax, which basically, in essence, he said all of those women are liars. They're all fucking lying. They're liars. Trust me. Trust Bill Barr, whose dad is the one who gave Jeffrey Epstein the job at that college, even though he didn't have a degree to teach, and showed up at the jail a week before Jeffrey Epstein died. And it was supposed to be covert, but he got found out, so it didn't end up being covert. Listen to him, you know? Listen to Trump. Oh, fuck, listen to Maxwell, because she has a history of fucking telling the truth, right? You know? But the victims in all of this, they're fucking liars. Don't believe them. They're all fucking lying. When they talk about their abuse, it's a Democratic hoax, you know? And the sad part about it is if I interchange Trump's name with Hillary Clinton, who's also involved, fuck, I would get most of you just fucking saliva would drop off your fucking fangs. When it's Trump, you don't have any fucking cares in the world. Fuck, if he was a pedophile, I'm sure he had his reasons. It's okay, you know? But fuck, if I interchange the names Hillary, then I can get you guys all rabid. And that's proven. The last fucking 10 years has been a good indication of that. But the names that I'm calling out now is the real worker bees who are still fucking hurting kids. So you can either go chase your tail for what? Another fucking Franklin has only been going on for 40 fucking years. And when you get done with Franklin, who do any of you know? Noreen Gosh, John DeCamp, Paul Bonacci, all the motherfuckers that were involved in this shit and still are. And that's who you follow. You know? They're just going to do the same fucking thing because it worked before. Why wouldn't they do it now? And as far as these emails go, I'm not putting out the emails, but all investigators and law officials have to do is subpoena my emails. That's all you have to do. And then use that Shadow Dragon program that is designed to bust out child traffickers. You type in an email, and no matter how many ways they routed it, it will tell you who wrote the email and exactly where that email originated. That's the Shadow Dragon program. That's why I'm frustrated with Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, who just seems to be fucking happening the goddamn child traffickers and won't fucking use that program to find out who's doing all the fucking emails, the threatening emails and the threatening videos on YouTube and blah, 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 blah. Because they don't give a fuck about the fucking victims of this shit. They're too goddamn busy protecting the goddamn perps. And that's how this shit works. And you wonder why victims get upset. But yes, we're upset. Why don't we just get over it? Do you know that I just found out the bitch who told me to just get over it, her fucking husband got a divorce because he fucking molested his daughter, trying to fuck her 16 and 17-year-old? That's the shit I'm surrounded by. The bitch who actually put those flyers at my mailbox was being driven around by, I'll call him Levi. Just got out of prison for what? Manufacturing child porn. But he has way more credibility than I do. And people wonder why I get frustrated. They're paying people in my neighborhood to fuck me. Gabe Hoffman is sending out, go ahead, dude. Hoffman, get 1,000 fucking private detectives to go after my background. You won't find shit. They've only been doing it for over a decade, trying to find anything they can. And there's nothing to find. But again, if my stepmother is telling people that there are bad things that I put in the wall, and she believes that I put bad things in the walls, People need to go ask her, what are those bad things that she thinks I put in the wall? And what walls? And why does she think I put them in the walls? I think it would be fucking simple, but no. She's a perp. Fuck the victims. You gotta protect the perps above all else. They're fucking paying people in town to actually harass the absolute ever living shit out of me. Fuck, someone I don't even know in town said they just saw a video on Facebook where they were filming themselves with a hat and a scarf and glasses so you couldn't see them, putting those flyers up all over town. So it's not just the deputies, even though that got on film too. And what are people in town desperate to hide? The fucking meth operation that they're okay with. So they'll protect the meth operation and they'll fucking protect child killers. But they're all superior. They're about ready to be raptured any fucking minute. God wants them the most. Because they're so fucking superior. Protecting fucking child killers. And perverts. And I'm supposed to respect that. Cold day in fucking hell.